welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I have for you my February book haul. You're actually going to get two book hauls from me. You're going to have this one, which is my regular book of the month, pre-orders, random purchases for the month. And then there's going to be a part two, which is going to be books that I got at a Barnes & Noble sale. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. So let's just dive right in. Starting with book of the month, we've got The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I had this book pre-ordered, and I was so excited to see that it was a book of the month choice because then I was able to cancel my pre-order. But this is definitely a book that I've had on my radar for a while. I got it confused with Andrea Bartz by accident because they obviously have a similar name, and like the cover is very reminiscent of Andrea Bartz's first book. So I was like, is it her? Is it? And like, I had the wrong Bartz. I believe it's about a bunch of women who go on a writing retreat, and I'm assuming people die. That's just my guess. Sounds fantastic. Then we've got River Sing Me Home by Eleanor Shearer. And I believe this is historical fiction. I think it takes place on a plantation. And I think a woman gets separated from her children, like her children are stolen, and she wants to go find her children. Which just sounds heartbreaking and beautiful, and like this cover is absolutely stunning. Then we've got Mame by Jessica George, which I've already read, and I'm gonna spoiler alert, I wasn't the biggest fan. I liked it, it was fine, but you'll hear more about it in my wrap up. So we are following Mame. Her real name is Maddie, but her family calls her Mame, which means woman. And she lives in London with her dad. She's been taking care of him. He has Parkinson's disease, and her mom has always kind of been really scattered throughout her life and kind of like lives primarily in Ghana, and sometimes will come back. And currently, she is just kind of in a mess of life where she just like feels like she's not living life, and she's very inexperienced with the world. And her mom is coming back from Ghana, so she sees this as her chance to kind of start living her life. And so she moves out of her house and finds an apartment with friends. She gets a different job. She decides to start taking people up on their offers to like go get a drink, start dating, and really just living her life for the first time and like dealing with all of the ramifications that come with that. And then my pre-orders. There's a lot, I'm sorry. So we've got Looking for Jane by Heather Marshall. This one wasn't originally on my list until recently, and then when Barnes & Noble was having their like 25% off of pre-order sales, I was like, yes. So this one, it takes place over 3 periods of time, 2017, 1971, and 1980. And I think that it's really truly about like motherhood. And I don't know much else about that. It just says 3 women's lives are bound together by a long-lost letter, which I absolutely love, a mother's love, and a secret network of people fighting for the right to choose. So it just sounded really interesting and really intriguing. I think I just saw that it's already been picked up for an adaptation of some kind. So hopefully it's really good. I love historical fiction where like you have 3 perspectives. Sometimes it's like a current perspective, and I love to watch to see how they're going to end up tying together. So I'm excited for this book. This is like my cup of tea right here. Then we obviously had to get The House of Eve by Satika Johnson. I loved Yellow Wife, not last year, but the year before that. It was by far one of my favorite books of the year. And it was so well done, and I could not wait for her to come out with something else. And I love that Reese picked it up for her book club. This is another apparent story about motherhood. It says it explores what it means to be a woman and a mother, and how much one is willing to sacrifice to achieve her greatest goal. And again, this one takes place in the 1950s, and I believe it says 1950s Philadelphia, but I think she ends up moving on to DC. I don't know, but I'm excited for it because if it's anything like Yellow Wife, it's gonna be awesome. And then we've got For Twice in My Life by Annette Christie. She wrote The Rehearsals, which I absolutely loved. Like, it was one of those books that I bought kind of for fun. I saw it in the store. I saw the cover and I was like, I'm going to try it. No high hopes. And I fell in love with it. So I saw this one and I was really excited. It reminds me kind of One True Loves, where I believe it's just this one person who potentially has the chance to kind of go for like two people. I don't know. Sounds interesting. I think it's like she gets a second chance at love. I'm not positive. I don't know. I just was here for it. We've got Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey, which I kind of had no business pre-ordering because I still haven't read the sequel to somewhere over here. Normally I find it instantly. My goodness, I don't know where it is. I can't find it right now. But One Last Summer, One Hot Summer. I could just look in here. The one that is inspired by It Happened One Summer. I have not read Hook, Line, and Sinker yet. And I've been dying to. So I don't know why I pre-ordered this, but I think it was just because the cover is absolutely stunning, and I love the stunning. The sequel comes out this year as well, so I've got both of them pre-ordered. I don't know. I need to read it. I need all the love books. Speaking of love, the Queen, Candy Steiner, came out with a new book. This is called Hail Mary. This is the fourth and final book in the Red Zone Brothers? No, Red Zone. Oh, she doesn't have it on here. Red Zone. Red Flag. I don't know. The first one was Fair Catch, and then we had Blindside, and then we had The Quarterback Sneak, and now we have this one, and they are all following different football players on a team in college. And so far, I feel like I liked the first book. I wasn't crazy about the second. The third one was absolutely my favorite, so I'm excited to see where I stand on this one. It's not my favorite series by her, but I also think it's because I am kind of removed from that college scene. I love reading stories about college, but I also struggle with it sometimes. So I'm excited to see how it ends. I think she's going hockey romance next, so that'll be interesting. And then we've got Stone Cold Fox by Rachel Kohler Croft. This cover, I don't know what it is about this cover, but like this is like a gorgeous aesthetic. I can't get enough about this cover. I believe this is basically, it reminds me of My Friend Anna, and it says, a perfectly wicked debut thriller about an ambitious woman who, after a lifetime of conning alongside her mother, wants to leave her dark past behind and marry the heir to one of the country's wealthiest families. So, just a con artist type of story, and it just sounds perfect. I got 2 books for review this month. I got The Forgotten Bookshop in Paris by Daisy Wood. These were both also sent to me completely unsolicited. I did not request either. This one I struggle with because I believe it's a World War II book, and I kind of stay away from those typically, so I don't know how fast I'll prioritize this. But it is like a 1940 and a modern day story, so like I might give in, but we'll see. And the other one I haven't unwrapped yet because it is gorgeously together. So it is Falling Hard for the Royal Guard. And the only reason why I have not unwrapped it is because look how cute this is. I feel like I don't want to unwrap it until I absolutely have to because this is just so cute and adorable. I don't know what that one's about. I believe it must be somebody who falls in love with a bodyguard that works for the royal family. So I'm hoping it'll give the Royal Next Door vibes because that would be fantastic, but we'll see. And then I got 2 books at random this month. The first one I got was The Hunter by Jennifer Herrera. I got this one for my book club that I participate in every month that Novel Cult Reads does on Instagram, and this is this month's pick. I actually rather enjoyed this one. I gave this one 4 stars. I know this isn't a review, but it's a good one. So we are following a woman who has been suspended from the New York Police Department and she is kind of going through a separation with her husband at the same time. And she gets a call from her brother, and he is a cop in their hometown that she's left and has avoided since she's left. And she ends up taking her daughter to kind of go work there for a little bit because there are 3 dead bodies, and she thinks that she can get to the bottom of it. And it's a fast read, very fast read. I know it's like looks kind of chunky, but I read that in like 24 hours. And then my last random purchase was The Independence by Chitra Banduri Divarkuni. This was a book that was offered on Book of the Month, and I didn't even like glance 2 seconds at it because this cover just for some reason screamed fantasy novel to me, which doesn't make sense, but like I think just the green, it gave me very like N.K. Jemisin vibes, and so I didn't even like look at it, and I scrolled past it, and later I found out what it was about, and I was like kicking myself that I didn't like pay more attention to it. So this one is set in 1947, during the partition of British India, and I guess it's really following these like 3 sisters, and it just sounded perfect. It reminds me of oh, why can't I say it now? It's a sequel. The Henna Artist. It reminded me kind of like Henna Artist vibes, and now I want to read it. So I got mad at myself for not buying it, so I bought it on Pango Books, and now I have it. So there's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of these down below. Which one should I prioritize? And keep your eyes peeled for part